presentation for the moment. We can target not all the whole class, at least we have half an hour, 45 minutes for us to ask you the questions and discuss it together. But try to do an effective presentation of the topic. Oh, and for this, I forgot to say, for this specific presentation, you have some gift cards. So basically, if you're answering the question, you're actually winning something, and it is the right answer. So I strongly encourage you to do the maximum possible. Yes.
One question: we get the slides after?
Yes, all the slides. If you, everybody agrees that I upload your slides on the Blackboard, right?
Yes.
Okay. So if you're sending me the presentations after the class, I'll send you the comments and your grades. And also I will upload your slides on the Blackboard, okay? Good.
Because after this, all we have for this course is the final.
Good morning, everybody. Today we'll be talking about flat organization. My name is Hussain. This is Matt. This is Okello. And we'll be covering a few of the parts of a flat organization. So we'll be defining the flat organization. What does it mean? How does it work? And the differences of it. Also, flat and tall organizations, let's say like the versus both of them, what are the differences, and which one is the best out of all. Delayering, also span of control, pros and cons, and also alternate location and the definition of it. Examples of flat organization, centralization and decentralization, and then finally the conclusion. As Dr.Ali Alireza mentioned about the cards, we'll be asking 6 questions during the presentation. We do have only 6 coffee cards, and if you answer the question correctly, you'll go 1. And just to be fair with everybody, that we brought more treats for every single person, just to make sure that you're not mad, right? Pass around, take some pass around. Just to motivate you and wake you up because it's early in the morning.
Candy is always a great motivator.
All right, so
Maybe some targets for the professor as well.
yeah, sure. Please make sure that you don't use your electronics for answers, like your laptops, guys, if you don't mind, your phone, just to answer a question. To be fair with everybody. So, what is flat organization? Who can define the meaning of this organization? We'll start with you guys here. Anybody want to answer? Move on, next. Let's go with these guys here. So
It's like an organization that structurally, as far as like a hierarchy or like authoritative hierarchy, only has one or very little winner.
Can you tell me more?
Very little levels.
Okay.
And
What's the reason for having it like real low? Like, why they're making it like that one?
To allow people to sort of like self-regulate themselves rather than have someone telling them what to do.
Promote self-regulation.
Yes, some of the definitions that we found actually mentioned some organizations having 0 management. So like it can fluctuate at very few levels, but some companies actually have like no middle management at all. So, like,
Starbucks or Tim Hortons? So you guys know how it goes now. You should be motivated more. Anyways, so the meaning of it is basically taking the middle part of the organization, which is like the middle management, just to cut it down, to have a direct contact between the top management and the frontline salesperson, or salespeople, and also consumers, or let's say customers. If they ever wanted something and they went to whatever, like let's say like customer service, and they didn't have any authority to fix their problem or to give them whatever they wanted, they have to go hunt for their manager to get, like the authority or let's say the permission to give them whatever they need. That's not for a flat organization. That's why they cut it down, just to make sure that everything is processes faster. Okay? So flat organization versus tall organization. And whoever wants one more card, please tell me the main differences between the flat and the tall organization. Let's go with the one in the back there. Tell me.
So the main differences, one would include like the span of control. So the decision-making power would be very, in flat organizations, would be very spread out, but where tall organizations, the power would be in the top level of the organization.
Can you be specific more about the span of control?
Yeah, so like the low span of control versus high span of control.
Who has the low, who has the more?
A high span of control would be flat organizations, because there's lots of control within high span of control, meaning high as in more people have decision-making power, and low span of control would be the tall organizations because they're more bureaucratic and they have to follow the rules a bit more.
Got it right. Which one? Starbucks or Tim Hortons?
I'll do Starbucks, please.
First to go.
Thank you.
No problem. All right, so there are too many differences, but I picked the most important out of all. So as mentioned, the flat organization has a wider span of control, and it costs less because if you think about it, if they take the middle management level out, it means they're saving the wages. They don't pay wages for these people. They would have lower management, let's say lower managers. They wouldn't have too many managers, so they're saving the cost for wages. They're saving the benefits that they have to pay, which is like, let's say, employment insurance or like health insurance or whatever. So they're saving the cost in a flat organization. And also it makes the process of the organization faster, either in decision making or in operation, and it just processes the whole thing in every single thing in the organization. Because there's no barrier between the frontline employees and the managers. So they could finish up like a lot of things faster. For the tall organization, it's a narrow span of control, you guys know, and it's a bit complex and it's large. So it really costs a lot because they need to pay for too many managers, and slows the process for decision making. Because if the employee wanted to take a decision or wanted to solve a problem, they have to go through too many managers in order to get an authority to fix this problem. So it slows the whole process of the organization, either like in generating profit. So basically they wouldn't make so much money because they have to pay so much money for like the managers, and also slows operations of the organization, so it's going to take time to make money. And also the flat organization, it's informal. It has the informal process. So basically, if employees had to do something like by themselves, they don't have to go through the canals, they don't have to go through the barriers to get a decision or to get a, let's say, a permission to do something. So they have the direct contact between the top management and the front line. So as I said, it's going to speed up the process. So as you guys see the chart here, the flat organization has only one layer of management or managers. They do have a direct contact between them and the top management. So it helps the organization to be more profitable and also be faster to make the customer happy. They don't have to wait for their things to be done. But the tall organization has way too many layers, has a little bit of span of control, so there's a conflict there. There has to be conflict between both like, let's say, employees to get a decision on something. Okay, and there's a quick video that I want to guys show to you, but it's related to the to the flat organization. It shows like how the decision would be faster. But just let's open it first.
Key Polymer is a corporation structured to get things done. We are a flat organization that values and entrusts the experience of our staff to do what is right by our customers. Here's what happened when an international customer called on a Friday afternoon with an urgent need.
It was Friday afternoon, just about 1 minute before 5 o'clock, and the infamous phone call comes in. Customer in a panic that they're going to be shut down because they didn't make their order on time. What can we do to help them? And I said, well, okay, well, we'll see what we can do, and hung up and immediately sent out an email, all points bulletin, what can we do to help this customer? Is anybody working on Saturday? It went to my production supervisor that I work with on my team, who happened to be at a Celtics game with his family. And next thing I know, like within an hour, we had, yes, we're coming in, yes, we're making it, it'll be ready to go for the customer on Monday morning.
The reason all that can happen is that everybody at Key Polymer is empowered to make it happen.
The customer is the core basis of the company. Some companies are financially driven, some companies are systems driven or efficiency driven, but we're customer driven.
We were able to keep them from shutting down, and other companies, I think, would have told them, well, it's too late, it's 5 o'clock, everybody's going home, you'll have to wait till Monday. We're just not like that.
Hi, my name is Okello, and I'll be continuing from Delirium. But first, I'll ask a question. Does anyone know?
When you start to differentiate hierarchical and horizontal organizations, probably what
Does anyone know or have an idea of what the term delirium means? Anyone?
Let's go with you guys in the back there. Just
The guy
right there.
Just reducing the levels that you have in your hierarchy, so making your structure more flat as opposed to...
Yeah, you're right. Basically, it's the same as flat organization. It's just another term for flat organization. Yeah, he's going to give it.
Starbucks or?
Starbucks.
No doubt.
It's just another term for flat organization. It's the process of removing the middle layers of the hierarchy to cut down on costs and make communications between the top level and the lower level clearer and faster. Here you can see the diagram with the delayering process, the removal of one of the layers of managers. Usually when this happens, the remaining managers, their span of control increases. Span of control is the amount of employees that report to one manager. Usually the broader the span of control, the further the organization is. But if the manager has too many employees that has to report to him, it could be a bit overwhelming and things could go wrong in the organization. I have a third question to ask. Could someone give me an advantage or disadvantage of a flat organization? Anyone?
So I guess going back to the span of control, one advantage is that you're removing the layers of management, making it faster, a much quicker process. But at the same time, if one manager has too wide of a span of control, it can make it difficult sometimes for decisions to be made because there can be conflicts essentially with the manager having too many people to manage and it just becoming overwhelming to that one person, which can actually lead to inefficiencies in the organization.
You're right. You're right.
That's why we only have Tim Hortons.
That's our...
Like some McDonald's, Starbucks.
Yes, here we have some advantages. Cost efficient with the removal of some layers or layer of management. You reduce your costs. It promotes faster decision making. With the layers removed, employees will get more empowerment, so like decisions will be faster. It also allows for clear communication, since you don't have to, decision making is not coming from top down, like it's, how to put it? For example, you know the term, like I heard it through the grapevine. Like when there's information being passed from one person to another, usually when it reaches to the last person, that information could be distorted. But with the removal of the layers, it makes communication more clear. It requires less dominance and supervision, since there are less middle managers, and employees are more empowered. They don't really require much supervision. It also increases productivity and adaptability, especially if it's an organization that has to keep up with the changing environment. Some disadvantages: management can easily lose control. Employees may get less motivated because everyone is empowered. Also, this can confuse the roles, because some may feel that they're above others when they are equal. Makes employee retention difficult. Less room for employee to rise up in the organization, since there's not much levels to climb. And work relationship could also struggle, because employees may disagree, because all of them may have powers to make certain decisions, and some may disagree with others, and this could cause problems between them and the organization. Now I'll turn things over to Matt, who will continue with this.
Matt, I'm going to talk to you a bit about open allocation. I'm going to have to start by asking, does anyone know what it means? Or ever heard of it?
Everybody looks confused. Try to guess. Maybe you might get it right. You never know. It's a card there. More cards.
If nobody has a clue, I might ask you after. I'll just delve into it first, and then you can go back. How many people have heard of Valve? Put your hands up. Pretty popular company. They create video games.